Hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of The Little Black Couch, which I think I learned there. Yeah, The Little Black Couch. Thanks for being here today. I am excited about today's topic for sure. So I want to jump right in and get started on it. It was something that a friend of mine dropped by today, and we had a good discussion as he sat on the Little Black Couch. And I thought I was going to go a whole different direction today, but this seems right. So let's jump right in and we'll start with the intro now. Cool. Thanks for being here today. Those that are dropping in, hey, thanks for dropping in, folks. So I had a good friend drop by today, and he and I have been friends now for, I was just trying to think, probably 12 or 13 years. He's taken more kind of a corporate route, and I won't use his name because I know that bothers people, so we won't say that. But he's taken more of a corporate level and has worked for a Fortune 100 company most of his career. And he just came in and had he's been looking around doing some other things, and we actually have a couple projects we're working on together. Our wives are working on a little project together, and so we have opportunity to hang out here and there, and it's a lot of fun, and we have a lot of fun together. And he sees life in a very similar view as the way I do, and so we have some really great discussions just because our experience as far as work goes is so different, and yet we have a lot of the same values and really goals and aspirations for our families and all of that. So we always have really good discussions. He came in to check on me because I've been a little ill, which was nice of him. In fact, but we let's do a real quick mood check here with Buddy the Couch. And he's going to do this for us from now on to see, he's going to kind of give you the pulse of how things are going here at the office. So you can see there in the live little couch cam that I am feeling strong. Yeah, I'm feeling much stronger today, and I think it shows. I am not a big fan of being sick, and so I did not enjoy that part of it, but Father's Day was awesome. Got some great cards from the kiddos, and that always makes you feel good, right? It's always the handwritten part that's awesome, right? So anyway, it was cool. Very good times. So anyway, so my buddy was in here today, and we were talking about it, and as he was discussing things in his life and what he's working on and what he's looking to do and what we're looking to do in some of our projects, he said something that I thought was super interesting, and it's definitely something that I think all of us, especially as entrepreneurs, can understand. I think that when you get into I started in the corporate world, and there's a situation in the corporate world where the company basically comes out and says, hey, here are our goals, and this is what we're going to do. And all of y'all are going to have to figure out how to get these things done. And if you don't, then, we'll take some steps to make sure that you're either not here anymore, and somebody else will come in and figure out how to do what you were not able to do, or you'll just figure out a way to get it done. And it's not always the best way to motivate somebody is to do it that way. And I think that we've talked here and there about different motivational forces and what works best with folks. And especially as an entrepreneur, when you don't have somebody hanging over you all the time to try to get things done, how do you motivate yourself, and how do you keep going without this threat of being fired? Well, there's obviously the threat of not being able to put any food on your table, and that kind of keeps you going. And so there's always just sort of this balance of how do I stay creative, and how do I stay positive, and how do I stay upbeat and moving forward, even though I know I've got all these pressures kind of coming back. And that's one of the biggest challenges that we have as entrepreneurs. So how do we do that? And so that was kind of big. That sort of framed the discussion that we had today. And my buddy was kind of talking about how he feels like over the course of, he got moved into a different position, and it wasn't one that he was exactly looking forward to do. And it's one that he kind of had to take based on the situation and how things were organizationally over there. And it was definitely sort of a sidestep, but not necessarily in the track that he wanted to be in. But he's a good corporate guy. And again, that's another thing that I find so interesting in the corporate world is we don't necessarily do a very good job of asking our employees what they want to do and what their passions are. We basically just look for a need, and we pick the person that's closest, and we shove them in and tell them to figure out how to get it done. And because we've got the golden handcuffs on, we do that, right? That's part of the thing that we just don't like as entrepreneurs, is we don't want to be told what to do. We want to go out and figure out something for ourselves and create something that makes a difference and is important to us, right? That we can be passionate about and proud of, not some job that just pays us some money so we can go home and eat Doritos and sleep. So as an entrepreneur, he said something very interesting to me, and I chuckled a little bit, and I quickly went and did one of my little graphics for it and actually looked up the quote. So I'm going to bring it up here real quick, and we can kind of look at it. So this is the quote. And he said this in his own way, but he said, I'm going to make the rest of my life the best of my life. And this particular quote that I found, and we want to make sure we give it out to Louise Hay, that I choose to make the best of my life, it should be the rest of my life. I need to change that. It's not a B, it's an R. The rest of my life was the quote. And before I put it up, and I want everybody to go and like it today, please, if you would, that would be nice. I'll put it up a little later today. But that was kind of what he was trying to decide to figure out to do. He wanted to make sure that, he said he'd been focusing on, and we all do this, but he had been focusing on recently the things that he didn't have and the stuff that he wasn't accomplishing. Instead of focusing on the things that he did have, that he should be grateful to have, and the stuff that he was accomplishing. And that took us into a really nice discussion on some of the research and things that I've mentioned recently about making sure, and I'm going to continue to harp on this, making sure that we are very good at noticing and acknowledging and celebrating effort. So we're coming back to that. So we had a full-on discussion. He was there on the little black couch, and we had a full-on discussion about this and making sure that we are conscientiously paying attention to our efforts. So the goal then being, and I'm going to offer this goal to everybody else, or this opportunity to everybody else out there, that when you get up in the morning and you're thinking about your day, just when you think about your day and you go through the things that you want to accomplish, take a moment to tell yourself, good job. And we talked a little bit about, yesterday I did a live on the Data Access Golf, and I talked a little bit about this little Down syndrome girl that Gary Woodland had hung out with. And she had this phrase that she would say to herself all through that little video. I actually played the video and got in trouble for copyright law. And my video was taken down off Facebook. So if you've never had that happen to you, it's fun, right? It's super fun. But anyway, they took my video down, my live, because I guess I was showing this video. It had PGA Tour on it, and I had said this was courtesy of the PGA Tour. I thought I was okay, but apparently not. Anyway, and I didn't think that they had any idea. I figured it was some sort of algorithm, but based on the email that I got later, they knew. So anyway, all of that aside, this little girl, Amy, whenever she got ready to hit a shot, so she got up to hit a shot, and her dad lined her all up and got her ready to go, and then he said to her in a very quiet voice, but you could definitely hear it, "You got this." And then she responded back to her dad, "I got this." And I thought that was such a cute exchange. And then as she continued to play the hole, and I kind of mentioned she hit a shot, she got out of the sand trap, and she made the putt and got a par. It was super, super cool. It was really cool. I mean, it was beyond cool. But through that whole process, before she hit every shot, she would say, I got this. And I thought, how cool is that? And Jeff and my buddy and I talked about that a little bit today. In that we need to do a better job of saying to ourselves, I got this, right? And then make the effort, right? If we're having a hard time even getting going, then saying, I got this, make some sort of an effort, and then make sure after that effort that we say, good job. I literally say it out loud when I start something. I literally, when I hit that live button, because I don't like to go live, I don't enjoy this. This is not a pleasant experience to me. I'm getting more used to it. But when I hit that live button inside my head, I thought, good job. I started it. I did something, you know? And I think that that is such an important thing to do. So as we sit here as entrepreneurs and decide, hey, we need to get going, let's make sure that when we do any effort to get going, that we say good job. So that would be my challenge to everybody who happens to hear the sound of my voice. Make sure that you take time to say good job. And literally before you leave the front door, if you get out of bed and you get yourself dressed and you're moving through your day, before you get to the front door, you should have said good job to yourself. And you have to make sure that you notice whatever it was, acknowledge whatever that was. So whether it's brush your teeth or whether it's put on your shoes or whether it's get out the door or start the car, make sure you notice the little effort that it was and tie that good job to the effort. Okay? And get really good at it. It's clunky. It's hard at first. It takes a while to sort of catch on. But once your body and your brain start to understand that that's how you want to do things, then it will become a habit. And as soon as acknowledging effort becomes a habit, we all will start feeling the kind of happiness and joy that we had as children when every little effort was noticed and appreciated by our parents when we were very small. And we've gotten away from that. Right now, we don't have anybody that's sitting there encouraging us all the day long. I have a wonderful mother. We talk once or twice a week, and she is super encouraging. But I'm sorry, she can't be there all the time for me. If she could, it would make a huge difference in my life. But I can be that for myself, and all of us can be that for ourselves. And I think that that's super important. And so that's my message. So please, see how many times you can say good job and attach it to something that actually did take some kind of effort. And if you do that, just see how you feel. It's amazing how you can put yourself in a very good mood by just acknowledging that you are making some effort, that you are moving forward, that things are getting done. And see how that changes your momentum. You'll notice a big difference in it, I can promise you. And I'd like to hear your comments, everything about how that has changed things. If it's clunky, if it's hard for you, if you have any sort of negative thoughts that pop up during it, all that I would love to hear your comments about, and we can talk about those as well, because there's a lot of negative things that will come up. But this is also a really interesting way to figure out your biggest speed bumps. Because when you start telling yourself, good job, the negative Nelly kind of talk will come in, and you'll be able to see it more readily where that's coming from. Because it will come, and then you can see, okay, what's causing that? Where is that negative thought? Where is that negative feeling coming from? And the more you have it experience those negative thoughts, then the easier it will be to track where those things are, where they are coming from, and pull them down. But it still will not have. The dopamine hit happens when you compliment yourself, when you notice your effort and you say, good job. The good has already been done. It doesn't matter if the negative thought comes afterwards. That's just a reaction, right? And we'll work on that reaction. And as soon as you say, it's the second step to the process, and we'll talk about that later. But right now, we're just talking about effort, making sure that we notice it. And the one other thing that came up, and this kind of goes along with what I really thought I was going to talk about, but I'll introduce it now, and we can talk more about it tomorrow. But as entrepreneurs, it's very easy for us to look around and compare ourselves one with another. And as an entrepreneur, it is so wrong to do that on so many levels. To compare yourself to another gets in the way of everything that it means to be an entrepreneur. And we will talk more about that in the next show. But it's a cool discussion topic, and I definitely want to spend some time on it. So there is a precursor, a tease, if you will, for tomorrow's topic. But for today, please take time to notice the effort that's being made. Any negative thoughts and things we'll deal with in a later show, because there's another step for that, which is really cool and very helpful. And part of this process of just getting better at noticing the effort to generate more momentum and joy in the journey. So till next time, Aaron Stewart saying thanks for joining me and joining me from the little black couch. Till next time, thanks.